I listened to, a few minutes ago, to Igel Adams as I came to the studio on my car radio, in which he indicated, among other things, that he will step aside as host of the New Times program until such time as this matter is settled. He has indicated to me, because I spoke with him today and on the weekend, that he will fight vigorously to clear his name. And we understand and appreciate that he will dedicate his time and his efforts in that regard in the coming period. We make no judgment on Mr. Adams's guilt. Indeed, at this time, there is not even a charge laid against him. He is entitled to the presumption of innocence until a charge is laid against him and is heard in a court of law. You know, allegations of this nature are always traumatic. The alleged victim suffers the pain, fear, shame, and trauma associated with the alleged event and its aftermath. Families are affected. Those accused have their lives disrupted until the allegations can be fairly dealt with in a court of law. This very serious issue demands a commensurate response from all concerned that is just, fair, and impartial. And it is in this context that I wish to comment on the larger matter here. That is the fundamental question about the fairness and impartiality of the justice system in this country. A few weeks ago in Brooklyn, New York, a Vincentian citizen, Ms. Miranda Wood, stood up in a town hall meeting and in front of many witnesses accused Dr. Gonsalve of sexually assaulting her when she was a minor. Ms. Wood's allegation of sexual assault is only the most recent of several allegations of sexual assault and rape that have been made publicly against Dr. Gonsalves. In January 2008, a female police officer on security detail at the Prime Minister's residence alleged that Dr. Gonsalves raped her on the compound in the early hours of one morning. In January 2008, sorry, I missed about there, a Canadian human rights lawyer alleged that she was sexually assaulted in January 2003 by Dr. Gonsalves in the Prime Minister's office while she was visiting on business. It is a matter of public record that the latter two allegations were actually filed as court cases by the alleged victims. And it is also a matter of public record that these cases were quickly dismissed by this country's Director of Public Prosecutions before they could actually be heard in a court of law. It is also a matter of public record that despite the fact there is no statute of limitations on rape or sexual assault in St. Vincent, Dr. Gonsalves was never at any time ever requested or required by the police to present himself for questioning. Indeed, at the time, Dr. Gonsalves was the minister with responsibility for the entire apparatus of the police, national security, and justice, and was therefore in a situation of pure conflict of interest, from which he ought to have stepped aside. Any decent leadership concerned with justice, fair play, and impartiality would have demanded nothing less. In relation to that particular matter, Jomo Thomas, who is now the Speaker of the House, is on record as saying that if he, Jomo, or anyone else for that matter, had been accused of sexual assault, the police would have taken him away. And he wondered if justice has two faces in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. If an ordinary Vincentian had been accused a few weeks ago, as Dr. Gonsalves was accused, the matter would have been followed up by the police, and the Vincentian might very well be where Adams is today, or as he was on the weekend, in the custody of the authorities. The lesson for all of us in these matters is that justice must not only be done, but be seen to be done, no matter who is involved. We therefore must use this latest development to open a fresh debate about the dispensation of justice in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and what is seen by many ordinary Vincentians as the corruption of the system by undue political interference.